big distance. Obviously, a storm.
And hello to you. This is the second episode for Weather Central Season 3. I apologize this is coming out so late. I've been quite busy, but hoping through December we can see more episodes like this. And the reason why I have this out is because it's quite a dangerous situation, especially this weekend for the eastern part of the United States. We could see heavy rain at times. Flooding is going to be a likely possibility. Strong winds, hurricane force or higher, especially over portions of Long Island and through the Gulf of Maine. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. And also, there's a possibility for extremely heavy snow on the backside of this storm. And of course, we'll time that out on the NAM 3-kilometer model. So let's get started. All right, we're starting off things here around 3 o'clock today, Saturday, December 9th, and you can see there's a low pressure system right north of the ovenment of Michigan, and basically we see this trailing cold front, not very visible, but this cold front will move quite slowly, which is why I am concerned for that flooding. Notice we already have a heavy band of rain setting up by tomorrow morning around 6 a.m., Sunday, December 10th, and this rain band will first set up around Western Virginia, West Virginia, Western North Carolina, and South Carolina. But as I move this forward, notice how the intensity of this rain becomes much more widespread. Places like eastern Pennsylvania, through central Maryland, through central Virginia, through central North Carolina, this band really will dump some heavy rain initially. But then we will see a lull in activity. I won't say dissipate, but more weaken, right? The yellows and oranges indicating the heavier rain pockets through western Massachusetts. But what I'm concerned about is the second band of rain that sets up along with an area of low pressure here in central North Carolina. That's what's going to bring these stronger winds, the nor'easter-like conditions, and of course the snow on the backside. So notice as I pull this forward into 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Sunday night, we see snow start to break out on the backside of this cold front. And reminder, we still had this heavy rain stretching all the way from Maine down into North Carolina. And if I continue to pull this forward, notice how the dark blues start showing up, indicating the very heavy snow, especially in portions of central Pennsylvania. I mean, look at this. We see colors of pink showing up, which indicates the possibility for extremely heavy snow, especially in central Virginia over the mountains in that region and stretching up into upstate New York. I think the bullseye for this storm in terms of snow will be somewhere up here or somewhere in central Pennsylvania up into New York State. Right now, models are painting an extremely heavy band of snow setting up right after the cold front. Now, if I continue pulling this up, I know it's hard to see, but we do have an area of low pressure here accompanied with extremely strong winds, especially over portions of Long Island. So we'll see extremely heavy rain falling with extremely strong winds as this cold air comes in behind, racing this cold front. Now, if I continue pulling this forward, now you kind of see where the low pressure system is, right? The low pressure is right there. We see this another cold front band kind of set up and move its way to the northeast. Extremely heavy snow in portions of eastern Pennsylvania through Delaware, Maryland. Again, this is just a forecast, and any shift in the low pressure center could indicate a shift in where the snow falls. But right now, this model at this time is showing extremely heavy snow moving into Delaware, Pennsylvania, and into New York State. This low pressure system becomes sort of like a nor'easter as it moves to the northeast. Look at that. I mean, we are seeing an extremely strong storm, possibly hurricane force winds, especially along the coast of Maine here, as I talked about in the beginning, but also the extremely heavy snow. And of course, it is going to be quite dangerous with those strong winds in place, which will make it feel like a blizzard. Now, looking at snow totals, this is another model. This is the FV3 high-res total snowfall map, and it shows this is probably the lowest amounts you'll see through all the models. This is like a best-case scenario, I'd say, conditions, because this band of snow is quite far to the west, and that's because the low-pressure system rides a little bit closer to the coast, which would allow for that warm air to come on in. And here's the NAM 3-kilometer model for snow. This model paints an extremely heavy amount of snow across northern New England with over a foot possible, especially in portions of northern Vermont. We could see upwards of 2 feet of snow in localized areas. The most difference is this southern tier here where we see a more widespread amount of snow, places closer to the coast. I just want to remind viewers that this is the amount of snowfall that falls. It's not the amount that accumulates. Again, a lot of places will actually be above freezing when the snow falls, and plus it just rains, so the ground will be wet and warm with rain. So even though it might say, on the map 2, 3, 4 inches, it might take a while for even some of the snow to start sticking. Now, another thing that this storm will cause is colder temperatures to work their way in. This is just significant with the amount of colder air moving in, and it's going to be quite a significant change. So not only is this storm going to bring in colder air, it's going to bring in snow, strong winds, heavy rain, flooding. It's got all of it. Of course, we'll continue to track this upcoming storm. And thank you for watching this Weather Central episode. If you want to see any of my previous episodes, just go to my YouTube channel at CKTWM to see all the full episodes as well as my weather reports.